Good evening. Hello, 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 hello. I hope everyone's doing well. It is, I think, Wednesday night. I always lose track of what day it is. It is Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night, Tuesday night. I think it's Tuesday night. I don't know. You guys are going to fill me in here. I think it's Tuesday night. Tuesday night. So, hope you guys are doing well. Again, heading into the middle of a week, I guess. I'm pushing it, right? I actually took Monday off instead of my regular Thursdays, so that has thrown my whole week off. I feel like today should be Friday because I'm usually off on Thursday. So it doesn't work that way, right? Hope you guys are doing well. Join me. I thought I'm going to take my makeup off. Not like I would get ready for bed, but I am going to take some of this off because I want to show you my makeup look for every day. This would be, running errands, maybe going to lunch with a friend, church, any activity that I don't want full glam, but I don't want to not have any makeup on either. Some days I'll just throw on a little bit of facial oil and some lip gloss maybe. So this is a little bit more than that, maybe an in-between look. But it's going to be very monochromatic. I'm going to show you how I can pull that off. I know I love to use products that multitask, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. And the color that I'm using tonight for me is in the peachy tones, but you could also use more of the pinks and mauve tones depending on your coloring that you like. But this one works really well for me, and it's my favorite enduring lip color. It's called Angel Food, and I'm going to show you how we can incorporate it over an entire face. So, sounds kind of crazy using a lip color on your entire face. So, I am actually starting out here using our Make Off wipes. These are so nice. You can see how big they are. They're really strong. It's kind of see everything that I'm getting off of it now. I like to use this, especially if I have on a little bit more makeup, and then I will wash my face with my cleanser. But I like to use it tonight. It's a little bit quicker than washing my face. So if you guys are watching, say hello. Let me know I've got some watchers. Just feels so much nicer to know I have people watching. And we'll get started. I hope I have some watchers. I actually had it on just me earlier because I've had problems with the volume on my phone. So I did a little practice run that was just for me. And now I'm not seeing that I have any watchers. So I might be doing this video just to myself. So if you're watching and you're not normally one that would say hello, please do. Just put a thumbs up if you can hear me, and that way I know that I'm in a public group. I'm not in my own private video. And that way I know whether I should get off. If you can hear me, great. And if not, I'll need to get off of here and get on my phone. Get on my computer. So I hope y'all can hear me. As it stands, I'm here by myself. So, if I am by myself, this will be great to use as a replay. So, anyway, wash this all off. Gonna get started. I'm sitting here going, I think I'm by myself. So, you can see when I don't have any foundation on that I do have some darkness, some hyperpigmentation, anyway, some redness throughout here. So most of us do have issues with our skin that wearing a foundation, maybe a little concealer even, it's going to help to balance things out. So sometimes that might be all you really need. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't wear a lot of makeup. Well, foundation is makeup. And if you do need foundation to just even things out, it just gives a brighter look to your face. Doesn't have to be heavy. That's why I love LimeLife's foundation. It's not heavy, it's very light. Even if you need a heavier coverage or a fuller coverage, you're not going to be sacrificing lightness and or taking a chance on there being any cakiness, which I do not like. I love this foundation. I do have drier skin, so that had always been an issue for me. If I needed more coverage in a liquid, it was just that. It was just heavier, and it just felt heavier and it looked heavier. So this foundation is not going to do that for you. I love it. Again, I wouldn't be here selling it if I didn't wear it and love it myself. So I feel like I'm more apt to be sharing it with you. So I'm going to show you how quick you can put a full face together and give you some tips and tricks along the way of things that I do just to keep things youthful, to keep things soft. I think that as we get older, we need to soften things up. So real harsh lines, heavy lines, dark colors. Sometimes we need to balance that out and soften those up. They tend to age us. That is something that a lot of women are not ready to let go of. And the dark eyeliner, the heavy black, that is my opinion. It just softer, looks nicer as we age. And I have learned above all things that my makeup goes on differently. My technique is different from when I was younger because things have changed. You know, a lot of things that we deal with are structural. They may be hereditary. You've had them your whole life, but as we get older, they become an issue, okay? So we can do this. There are no rules with makeup. I don't think that there are. Lots of different ways that you can do things. There's really no right or wrong. To me, what might be right for one person may not be right for another as far as their makeup and their skincare. So I'm just starting out with a little bit of Due Date, which is our medium weight facial oil. Just helps to soften things up. A little extra moisturizer because I do have dry skin, but I want to let that soak in a little bit. I like to use our sunscreen as a primer because it poses as a primer. A moisturizer has chicory root in it, which is a instantly firming ingredient, so it's anti-aging, especially used over time. And I'm going to put that on today, not because I'm going out into the sun, but because it serves as a primer. So it just helps to smooth over some of these rough imperfections in my skin from acne scarring or enlarged pores. We also have a spray primer, which is an excellent product also. Does the same thing, much like you're preparing a canvas. So I do love our sunscreen. It is a zinc oxide. Good grief, I sell it and I can't even tell you what it is. Titanium dioxide. Both of those ingredients are very good. I'm sorry, it is a zinc oxide. That's the active ingredient. I've been talking sunscreen today and was talking about both zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Those are both ingredients that are healthy and safe in any sunscreen. So this just gives a nice base for my foundation. So I'm gonna let that soak in just a little bit while I get other things ready. So what's going on in y'all's week? Again, we're just kind of starting out, seeing how things are going. I actually had kind of a crazy day today. I was doing some running errands. I had to go to the tile store and order some more tile. We didn't have enough for the job. The contractor measured and just did not have enough. So again, my kitchen is dragging out. I had a good time getting to go look at some fabric at the fabric store because I'm going to be recovering my cushions in my kitchen, so I'm excited about that. That was kind of fun. And oh my gosh, I was like a squirrel. I was seeing all these different fabrics and I had to say, Kelly, you are looking for kitchen fabric. You're not looking for drapes for your bedroom. You're not looking for sewing room to recover the couch. I was all over the place. So I did find a very simple kind of an imitation leather for my chairs in my kitchen. Something I've always had on there already, but just a little bit more updated. And had to see if I could find some wallpaper. I have the Waverly wallpaper in my kitchen. I absolutely love the black and white wall. And even with the opportunity to update and change it, I went right back to that same toile. But it got some damage in the refinishing the floors and changing up the cabinets a little bit. So there were some areas that got damaged. So I was able to just get one roll, and I'm going to have to kind of just do a couple of strips. So anyway, not going to be too bad. I think I can do that myself. So anyway, and on squeezed work, I had to get to work today, so I kind of squeezed all that in. So it's been a busy day. I also did some ironing this morning. I did it yesterday. This is the craziest thing that I do, guys, is that I have been taking my ironing board and my iron outside and doing my ironing outside. Why not? If you've got to iron, yes, Kelly still irons. I know that's crazy, but I'm an iron freak. I've let go of a whole lot of things. I don't iron socks. I don't iron underwear. And I used to iron the little strip on my top sheet. Now I don't do that anymore. But I do buy clothes that have to be ironed, and I enjoy ironing. For me, it's just, I don't know, I enjoy ironing. So I took it outside and did that over the weekend. Got a little sun on my shoulders, got a little sun, and did it this morning before I went into work. And I left them outside. I had 4 or 5 little items that I left outside. I did bring my iron in, and it rained. It rained at my home, but it didn't rain at my office. So anyway, whatever. Stupid, right? That I left it outside. So generally when I start with my makeup, I think everything's absorbed. We're good. I will do just a little bit of my foundation, just a little bit, on my forehead area and just a little under my eyes. But then I jump right into doing my eyeshadow. And the reason why I do it this way, if I'm going to be putting more eyeshadow on, I don't want any fallout under here. You can see I already have dark circles under my eyes, and I don't want to contribute to having more dark circles. So I just kind of start out putting my foundation just on my forehead area, and then I'll come in and do my eyes and my eyebrows, and then I'll finish up with everything else. So just kind of evens things out just a little bit. And this is our foundation. This is our wax-based foundation. This is the one that I use right now. It just helps to smooth out the redness, and it still ties in. You can see that it is a good color for me. I probably, now that I got a little sun on my chest, you can see how it blends really, really nicely as opposed to some of the other colors that I would put on, even going a lot darker, matching it to my chest. It just helps to pull things up together. So rather than going to a darker foundation in the summertime, which you can do, or mixing it with your fall and winter shade, I like to come in and use a bronzer. So that's how I kind of give my skin a little more sun-kissed look. Try not to get any sun on my face. I did on my shoulders and my chest. I know, shave on me too, but I don't like to get it on my face. I spend a lot of time and a lot of money over a period of time, not a lot of money, in trying to get my skin clear and smooth and balanced, that if I go out in the sun, it just throws things off. It's going to get discolored and do all that terrible stuff. I don't like to get sunburn on my face. So that is the reason I do it that way. So I'm going to come in with my eyeshadow. Now, the one thing that I shared with you guys earlier was, I'm looking for it, I love to use this. This is our lip color. This is an enduring lip color. I love to use it on my eyes. I will use it on my cheeks, and I will use it on my lips. This is my go-to color pretty much all year long for just a nice natural, more nude look for me. It just works well for me. It's a great color for people that have blue eyes. Regardless of your skin tone, it's a little peachier, but it still is very complimentary. We also have some shades in the mauve. Of course, you can use any color eyeshadows, but I just really love grabbing this and using it all over. It's just such a great color and such a good product. I had never used any, what would you call it, like a cream-based blush or eyeshadow, but I'm really tuned into this. I really like it. Again, thinking about older skin, it just, I don't know, it just wears really nicely. And because it's our enduring lip color, it's going to stay on really nicely too. So it just makes my makeup last even longer throughout the day. But we're going to start off with, I'm kind of trying to keep up here, with my eyebrows. I did shape up my eyebrows a little bit today. I had not done that in a while. So keep in mind when you're doing your eyebrows, again, not a lot of rules, but there are guidelines and there are things that we can do that are going to look nicer as we age. One of the things is we do not want this tail to come down further. Now when we were younger, our brows were fuller, it probably did come down a little further. But as we age, we want to keep it right in line with the corner of our eye because that gives us a lift. We want everything to look lifted. We don't want to pull things down. Everything gets pulled down on its own via gravity. So I am going to just use, now for me, we've got lots of different tools that you can use. You can use an eyebrow pencil, and we've got brow gels also. I will be using the clear one. But for me, I love using just a lip brush, and all I'm doing is just following the natural outline of my brow. Just filling it in a little bit. And when it comes to here, again, the guideline is to go straight up from your nose to straight up. We don't want to go out too far. We don't want to come in too far. We don't want to look like Groucho Marx. We want it to just be right even with the corner of our nose. And just using little brisk strokes. And I would use the same technique if I were using a brow pencil. So I'm not recreating the brow here. I am merely following the natural line, and I'm just filling in where I have some sparse areas. You can see through here it's a little sparse. So I'm just filling that in. I'm using a color of eyeshadow. Actually, I'm using this one right here, and then I will kind of go with this because it's close to my hair color, close to the natural color of my brows. And depending on what look you're going for, if you like a brow that's very structured, then you can come in with a little deeper tone and a little heavier hand with your line. I think that's a good tool to use, is a brow pencil if you like a more defined brow. I am just wanting to give some definition, but I'm not trying to reshape it up. So we're going to do the other side. Again, I brushed it down so I can actually see the brow line. And then if you want to brush them back up again, you can do that so you can see the natural lower line. This kitchen project that actually started out, it really started out being my floors. And that just kind of led to some other things, and it's not really an entire kitchen makeover at all, but I got new tile on my backsplash. That's really basically the floors and the backsplash, but having to touch up the wallpaper, and I thought, well, you may as well do the cushions on my chair. Here's the crazy thing. I have the table that we ate at when I was a little girl. It's a gorgeous round walnut table. We've had it since I was a child, but I didn't like the chairs that were with it. So I have chairs that I absolutely love from the table I was using before I inherited this other table from my mama. Oh, thank you so much, Gerald. I appreciate that. Hey, Ladybug, how are you doing? How's Marcia doing? How are you doing? So I had this table that was mine growing up, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's round, really dark oak. It's beautiful. And the chairs that, I absolutely love the table I had already, but, you know, when something's sentimental to you and you want to use it, so. But the chairs, I don't know what I'm going to do. I absolutely love these chairs. And they have rollers on it, which are great. But I learned that that is the worst thing that you can do for hard floors, is to have rollers on your chairs. They just scar it, and the pressure and the rolling around is really not good. So I took the rollers off. Now granted, when I had rollers on it with my old floors, they were a little too tall to go under the table. So they're these big chairs, big arms. They sit real deep. They're just beautiful chairs. They're really just really pretty chairs. I love them, love them, love them. Can you tell I love them? I don't want to get rid of them. But they weren't really right for the table, but we dealt with it. So I took the rollers off of them, and now you feel like a child at the kindergarten table. The table sits up kind of high now. So someone said, well, you could put the rollers back on it when you get rugs. So I'm looking for rugs right now. I'm looking for rugs, but y'all, if you know me, I'm having a hard time because I need a dining room rug, I need a foyer rug, and I need a rug for the kitchen. And I can't find one that I love that will coordinate with all three rooms. So I thought, well, I'll just get the same kind. I'm okay with that. I can't find one that I love enough to put in all three rooms. So I have one in my TV room that's kind of creams and rust colors. So it's just real muted colors and browns. And it looks great in there with my two leather chairs that are kind of a tobacco color. But, you know, do I match them to that rug? But that rug looks nice, but it would not look good in the kitchen. Maybe the foyer, the dining room. I'm really having a hard time. So, you know, there's no hurry. I guess I don't have to do that. But it's a project that I need to do. So, I don't know what to do. Once these chairs, if I put the rollers back on them, they're going to sit up too high for the table again. And I just can't let go of these chairs. I love these chairs. I mean, I love these chairs. But I don't want to go to my table either. So that's kind of a predicament. Not really real world problems, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. So, well, we've got that done. We're going to come in here and do my eyes. So if you have any suggestions, guys, oh my goodness, it's kind of a big deal, you know, but rugs to go with, and what do I do? Do I get new chairs? I actually found some chairs that I could like just as well. But you know, Kelly, my daddy used to say, champagne taste on a beer income. They're like $1,200 a chair. Well, you know, what am I going to do? Just sell more lipstick, right? I got to sell a few more tubes of lipstick. So here is the color that I'm putting on. Again, this is Angel Food, and you can see it's such a nice color to really make light color eyes. It's beautiful on brown eyes. It's really, really contrasting with blue eyes. And that is just all I'm going to do. I'm going to come in and mix it or blend it. Just blending this out. Again, this is just a nice go-to makeup look. I'm looking at making my eyes really stand out, but we're just going to keep it very monochromatic, meaning that it's one color used everywhere, but it's not going to be real boring. So there it is on my eyes, and I'm going to come in and do just a lighter color on my eyebrow bone with just a big brush. So we're just going to soften that up and blend it down. We're going to soften it and blend it down. Okay, now I'm going to use this color, which is actually a shadow. Let's see where it is. Another one of mine. This is very similar to this, but it's going to look really pretty. Okay, I've misplaced my. That's it. Here it is. I'm sorry, I didn't get it out. Thought I had everything out. This right here, this color right here, beautiful, beautiful color to do right in between. Let me get the right brush. Here we go. This is Antique Blush Hour. It's called Blush Hour. And I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of Antique. And I'm going to put it right there just to give a little variation. Again, it's still a very soft color, keeping it in the same family. Just going to give the eyes just a little bit of depth. I like to build color just a little bit at a time rather than putting it on. And I find just using little windshield wipers or dabbing strokes rather than brushing, this gives a nice soft look. And I'm going to take a great big brush and we're just going to blend it together. We don't want any harsh lines where all the colors just kind of seamlessly blend together. Okay, very nice look, very nice look. So now we can continue on with the rest of our foundation and the rest of our concealer. So just got the eyes done. We'll come in and do eyeliner and mascara very, very last. So again, coming back to my foundation, just going to use a little stippling motion and blending. These techniques that I use, like with the stippling, lightly blending, they're just helpful for two reasons. If you have dry skin like I do, you're not brushing back and forth and stirring up any maybe dry skin that you may have. If you've got any imperfection in the texture like I do also, it just helps to soften it, blend it together without looking too harsh. Again, less is more. So being color matched with the right shade that's not too dark, it's not too light, you're not going to have to worry about having a very heavy look to your foundation. And again, as I got a little color on my chest, it might be a hair light for me, but I'm going to show you how we can have a nice sun-kissed look, like we've got a little bit of sun, without it being really heavy, by using a bronzer. Okay, so again, we're going to correct any of this darkness under here. I'm going to show you the trick to do that. So taking our concealers, I have two colors of concealers. I like to use one that is more matched to my skin, my foundation, and it has a little heavier texture to it, so it's nice for any breakouts. It's just going to hold better than just your foundation. Again, not looking real heavy, but I don't want to use a color that matches, or that, I mean, sorry, not matches. I don't want to use one that's really light, because we don't want to brighten up this area. We want to just even it out. Then under my eyes, I'm going to come in with the lighter color, which is a 00, and I'm going to concentrate it in the center, the corners of my eye, and just blend it out to the center. And you can see by just bringing that bright color in this area, that's probably the darkest portion of my face, that it brightens up everything all over. I don't need to be carrying it all over the same amount of pressure or amount of color. Can you see how that just really lightened it up? It just brightened up my whole face. And again, just using a light motion. I love this brush to come in here and blend. I'm not brushing too much, just blending. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you for complimenting my hair. Okay, so it will really pull together, but just concentrating it right here, which is the darkest portion. It's not necessary for me to do that old-fashioned way of bringing the concealer all the way down. I don't need it everywhere, right? And if you have a brighter color, it tends to pull things forward. So if I am pulling this whole area forward, I'm really not accomplishing anything else. I just want to brighten this area, and by doing so, it kind of brings it forward and keeps it more even, so you don't see that sallowness, that heaviness under my eyes. And I've got hair sticking up here all over my face. So there is my foundations and my concealers that have color corrected and have smoothed things out, kind of toned down the redness and blended out some of the hyperpigmentation. Okay, so we can put these away, right? Now I'm going to come in here and show you, in using my bronzer, how I can use it in contouring and giving more of a sun-kissed look rather than going with a darker foundation. If you look at yourself in the mirror with no foundation on whatsoever, our faces are not just one color at all. They are different colors. You have shading, you have darkness, you have lightness, and by that I mean that, like right now with my foundation, it's all one-dimensional. Just one-dimensional, one color. And that is okay, because again, we're trying to color correct, trying to camouflage some of that hyperpigmentation, and with the other products, we're trying to bring out our best features. So we want to add something. Blush is one way to add dimension, but by adding a bronzer, be it a liquid bronzer, sorry, or a powder bronzer, or even coming in with, I've even used this before. This is the color I use oftentimes throughout the year for doing contouring. But since it's summertime, and again, I want some definition, I want some depth to my face, I'm going to use a bronzer. But I'm also going to use it to contour, okay? So I have a higher forehead. So again, we've talked, if you follow me, you know the rules, or you know, not the rules, you know, that darkness is going to shadow, okay? It's going to keep things distant, okay? And the lighter colors, now I'm going to blend this, okay? I'm not going to leave it like that. Then the lighter colors are going to bring things forward, so we're creating some dimension here, okay? Under here, I'm going to create a shadow so that my neck looks longer, like it did when we were more youthful. As we get older, it tends to not have as much definition, so that's what contouring is for. It's for creating definition. Now, here's something I want to share. I have learned that in doing the 3 with my bronzer to contour, I want to lift my cheekbones. So I have found that not just putting it in, I'm going to make a funny face. This is where we tend to want to put our contour, which is correct, in the hollow of our face, because it gives us some shape to our face. But as we get older and our faces are more drawn, maybe more sallow looking, I like to put mine not so much in the hollow, but creating a hollow a little higher up. So it's going to bring my cheekbones up a little higher, but it's still going to give that contour. So I start at my hairline, but rather than being right here in the center of my ear, I'm going to start at the top of my ear and come down. I need to do a video sometime, and then I just like to brush it up to blend it. Always starting at the hairline and coming in rather than here and going out. When you dab your brush in your product, you have more product on your brush. So if we're going to dab it and that's where we're going to start, that's where the most predominant amount of product is going to fall. It's going to go. So I like to start in my hairline and coming down. I need to do a video sometimes where I'm going one side of my face one way and one the other, and you can really see how this really draws up, as opposed to putting it right here. See, if I put it right here, but I like to put it up, and it just, for me, again, these are just things that I have learned as I have aged. Just lift. This is a great technique too if you have, your cheekbones aren't real high anyway, the structure of your face. No matter what your age, I would do this. So can you see how that just gave a little sun-kissed look to my face? Again, we're going to blend this out because we're going to come in with the highlighter later. Now, using the same product to contour, I like to slim my nose a little bit. It's kind of what I don't like about my nose. I think we all have portions of our face that we don't favor. So, doing that just, again, by leaving this lighter, we're drawing our eye here as opposed to where I feel like my nose is really broad. Okay, so there is using a bronzer to shape your face. Too much right there. Shape your face and give a little bit of a sun-kissed look to it. Then I'm going to come in with my blush, and you just know right where to put your blush. It's going to be right in the center of your cheek. Now, some people like to put it in the apple of their cheek. Some people like to drip. So very different ways that you can do it. You do what works for you. This works for me, and I like to explain why. So coming in here with a blush. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Let's use this for our blush. That's what I was talking about right earlier. Let me get that off there. I love using this as blush now because it is a cream base, and that's okay. So I'm going to put it just right there on the tops of my cheekbones. Doesn't take a whole lot. And we're just going to soften it up with the same blush brush. It's a little bit more pigmented, but I'm going to show you how we're going to soften this all up. I'm not going to look like a clown when I'm all said and finished. And again, I'm just putting a little bit of it where it would fall if I had a little sun on my face. And that's the high points. Here, cheeks, down your nose. I'm not going to do that because we're going to use the highlighter. But this is where, if you were to get a little bit too much sun, where it would fall. Okay? So, now let's do eyeliner. I had my eyeliner sitting right here. Here it is. Fell on the floor. Now, for this look, I do have a lot of color on my eye as it is, so I don't need a lot of liner. I'm only going to use this liner on the top of my eye, and you're still going to see how it's really going to define my eye. So this isn't so much of a cat eye, but it is going to just be on the top of my eye. I love these liners. These are very soft gel liners. They're going to go on real softly. You're not going to have to pull and tug that color because it is a gel, and it's also going to set. So it's another product that we have that is long wearing. So these are our enduring eyeliners. So just holding my eye, I'm going to follow that natural line and bring it all the way into the center. Again, brown is really a pretty color for light colored eyes. For a contrast, it really makes your eyes pop. Oops, look what I did there. Yep. And it's also a beautiful color. For me, I think navies and brown have been my new black. It's just softer on my eyes. Not gonna say I don't wear black, but I've really come to love the browns and the navies. There you go. That is all I'm gonna put on my eyes, and I just did a simple swipe. Not real thick, just enough that you can see it, and I'm not gonna put anything on the bottom. Now, I've had that oil on my face, so it is settling in my fine lines a little bit until I get it set with powder. There we go, just blended it a little bit. Okay, you can come in with a shadow if you would like to go over the top of that liner, even if you want to soften it more. But since it's such a nice brown, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Again, I'm not going for a full heavy face of makeup, but I do want some definition and I want a little bit of pop in my eyeshadow. So, let's see. How about we do, let's do lips, then we'll do the highlighter. So again, we're coming in with, get a lip liner. Going to come in with that same color on my lips. Just going to outline my lips just a tiny bit. I like to line our lips, rubbing it in, because that does serve, actually it's a pretty color just like that, our lip liner, but it also serves as a base. So as the day goes by and you're wearing lipstick, even with our enduring lip color, which is going to last 4 to 6 hours, but as the day goes by, maybe you lick your lips, maybe you've drank a lot of coffee, and it does begin to wear off, you don't want to just have lip liner and then this has worn off, and then you don't have anything in the center. So by rubbing my lips together, it just helps to serve as a base, and it helps the lips color to stay on, and it also, when it does come off, you still have a little color on your lips. I'm just about out of this color, can you tell? This is one of the first colors I bought that first year I started working with LimeLife. It's just a beautiful color. Some people, I love peaches and peachy undertones. Some people don't like that, but we have other colors. I'll tell you another color that is beautiful is, I think this is birthday cake or ruby chocolate. This one's a little bit more of a mauve undertones, and it's beautiful to use in all three places too. So I literally have used the same color, Angel Food, on my eyes, on my cheeks, and on my lips. And it's just really pretty. Again, monochromatic, it's not boring, it's just really pretty to use it all. And it's easy. I've used it quickly. Lastly, I'm going to come in with our glow drops. I like to use this as a highlight. Put just a little bit on my hand. I'm going to come back in here with that same brush. Let me give a shout out to our brushes. If you've noticed this, I have used this for powder and I've used it for creams. Using it, blending it in my blush, and now I'm using it for the liquid. So it's just so nice because these are not natural bristle brushes. I always thought that it was not a good quality brush unless it was a natural bristle. But LimeLife is all about not just natural, but animal friendly. We don't test on animals. None of our ingredients at any stage of the formulation of our products is tested on animals. Not the ingredient, not the finished product, and nowhere in between. But they are synthetic, but they allow you to go from powders to liquids without getting gummy, and they wash out really nicely. You're not necessarily able to do that with a synthetic brush. They're going to get gummy, and sometimes you can't get them washed out. So we're going to use this just a little bit, and I'm just going to bring this down in my T-zone, and I'm going to blend it out with, I've got a reflection, it's really standing out. We're going to blend that when I put powder on. So I'm just using it as a highlighter. I think I got a little bit too much there. There we go, as a highlighter. And then I'm going to come in the highest portion of my cheeks and just brush it across the top of my brow. And it gives a nice soft glow. I got an eyelash, hold on. I got an eyelash. Well, there we go. Just gives a nice soft glow. just going to blend it. Even on my lips. So how pretty is that? Very pretty. I'm going to finish very lastly, before we do the mascara, coming in with setting powder. And I only like to do this right under my eyes. Now you can do this right before or right after your highlighter. I did it after. And I'm just going to soften it. Helps to set the makeup. This tends to be, my hair's everywhere. This tends to be where I have it want to settle in my fine lines and wrinkles. And we're going to finish with mascara that, let's see, where's my mascara? Here it is. Whoops, I usually sit on my mascara to warm it up. When mascara is warm, it just goes on better. It's less apt to clump. So warm it up a little bit. So that is pretty much my makeup look. Just a nice, quick go-to. Granted, it's not been so quick tonight as I've been talking. But all of these products work so nicely together. And I'm going to finish up with my mascara. And if I were to be heading out the door, the very last thing I would do would be to put on my setting spray. There we go. And I'm not going to put any underneath. So see, my eyes still really stand out without having to have that harsh color of eyeliner all the way around my eyes. Sometimes I do put it underneath, but just still keeping it very soft, very muted. It's just a nice color go-to for anyone. You don't have to have a special occasion to wear makeup like this. Just neutral colors, very soft. It's almost time to replace my mascara. I've had it longer than you're supposed to. I need to get a fresh tube. So there is the look, guys. There is the look. So a few things that I like to do, keeping in mind that my skin has changed, my makeup techniques need to change as I've aged. One of those is filling in my brows. They tend to thin as we get older, and they tend to lose their shape. So we don't want to pluck them anymore. They may not grow back, and we don't want to not have any brows. But if they're very thin, there are certainly different products that you can use, coming in with a brow gel, coming in with a liner. We want to have some shape, and we want to have a little bit more volume. And I achieve that by using a shadow and a lip brush. Again, not bringing it down too low. And the same thing with our cheeks. We want to raise our cheeks to give a nice youthful look. So I hope you guys might try some of these techniques. If you'd like help with picking out any colors or being color matched, if you'd like any of the products that I've done tonight, shoot me a private message. I'd be glad to help you out. For my local friends and family and watchers, I do a bulk order. I'll be doing one probably this weekend. No, I take it back. I'll probably be doing one tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 30th. So I'll be doing a bulk order for June to close out June. So if there's anything I can help you with, let me know. It's always free shipping for my local customers. So thank you guys for joining me. Just a quick makeup there. I hope you can take some of these tips and tricks with you and apply them to your own makeup routine. You guys have an excellent night. I appreciate you watching. Take care and God bless.